not get stuck in this expat bubble. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to the Life in Germany channel. This is my hub to be able to share all of my experiences, my downfalls, the things I've learned as a foreigner living here in Germany. I've been here since 2014 and I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I have spoken with hundreds of experts in all different aspects of relocating, and if you are watching this video in hopes to learn German and planning on moving to Germany, well then don't forget to download my freebie checklist. I will include a link down for it below. You can download it, you can have it on your computer. This goes through everything you're gonna need to know when first getting started here in Germany. So today's not gonna be about how you can learn the language super quick. I've already made a video on that. It's gonna be more of a hard, cold, honest truth, things that you cannot forget when you're learning the language, because these are going to either help or hinder you from actually learning the language properly. I have many tips when it comes to learning the German language, but here are my absolute top 5 that you please need to bring with you to Germany, whether you're traveling or whether you're planning on coming here to live. Number 1 is choose a style that works for you. When I say that, I mean don't let your friends convince you into something that you already know is not going to be for you. There are so many amazing language learning platforms out there. There's intensive learning, there's in-person learning, online learning, fun learning where you can do it via app and play some games. You know, there's different ways to actually learn the language. There are also a lot of free resources out there to get you started. So although the free resources might not be the ones to actually get you to learn the language, they are a good option when you're trying to figure out just exactly what you need in order to learn. For example, for myself, I've tried out some of those ones where you take 5 minutes a day and you play a little game and you have some fun with it. And yes, I learned a couple words here and there, but it was frustrating for me because what I needed was something where I could really dig in and learn as long as I needed to, and also something that was able to properly explain the grammar and why it was the way it was. Choose one that works for you. Ask yourself, for example, do I need a push? Do I need to put money down and book a class and lose that money in order to be like, oh crap, you know, I really need to get learning? Or are you someone who will gladly hop on your phone or on your computer, learn a little bit each day and have fun with it? Perhaps you're the type of person that after 60 minutes, you're just like, can't do anymore. I'm total opposite. I need like a full day and I need to crunch in order to get things done. That's just who I am. So go through various options and see what you enjoy and what you have fun with. There are many options for you to choose from, and I would highly advise you to take a look at all of them. I have tried and tested many different language classes, courses, apps, you name it. I actually found one recently that I found really intriguing, and it was called Xeropan Learn English. Then I found out that they actually do offer German lessons as well, and in 2022, they are going to be adding French and Spanish to their collection too. So just as a starters, I definitely recommend going to check them out. They are an award-winning language learning app that not only teaches you words and sentences like many common language apps do, but they also have a really neat feature where you can have a conversation with one of their AI bots and actually gauge your language learning and your pronunciation this way.
Ich bin dein Stylist. Wann hast du das letzte Mal Kleidung gekauft?
Das letzte Mal, dass ich Kleidung gekauft habe, war vor 3 Monaten.
Welcher Kleidungsstil passt zu dir? Bist du sportlich, elegant, lässig?
Ich bin eher lässig.
Lässige Kleidungen sind meiner Meinung nach eine gute Wahl.
Pretty cool, huh? And in addition, they also offer, of course, these reading, these spelling, these grammar lessons all in one organized package. It goes from A1 all the way to B2, and it takes you through each individual lesson. There are video lessons, there are audio lessons, there are lessons where you need to spell, where you can pick and choose, where you can match. So they really use a lot of different methods to try to connect with their entire audience and the way that we learn best. So if you're interested in trying them out, you can actually download their app for free. You can go on without an account, kind of play around, get a feel for it, see if that's something for you. And once you're ready to give it a real go, I actually have a 70% off coupon code for you guys. I will include this code down below, but that's gonna give you 70% off a 12-month pro subscription with Xeropan. So all you're gonna have to do is hit my profile, go into the top right here under settings, scroll down, hit promo code, enter your promo code right there. That's Jenna with a capital J, 70. Once it's in there, you can hit apply code. And now that your discount code has been applied, you can actually hop out of settings, hit down here on the bottom right, your pro account, and that discount is already going to be applied here. So then you can go ahead and purchase your subscription. A quick thing to note here is make sure that you do not activate the 7-day trial before punching in the code, otherwise it will not work. If you have more questions about them, you can always ask me. Otherwise, I'm including all of the links and all of the details you need down below. So back to my language learning tips. Number 2 is not to let your lack of confidence get in the way of speaking. I don't mean that to be rude. This is just something that I've personally experienced, is that I am always so scared of what other people think of me that I think even if I reached like C2 level, I was still going to be scared to speak. There was just something in me at some point that was so frustrated that said, Jenna, you know, you have to speak, otherwise this is not gonna work. Of course, it helped to have a couple beers in me back then to actually be able to speak the language. But whatever you need to do to relax and to be confident speaking, just do it and stop worrying about what other people think of you, because you're never going to be able to speak properly if you don't make those mistakes from the get-go. Sometimes I know a lot of people are like, oh, but then the Germans are gonna be like, oh my God, you're so cute. But they do appreciate it, you know? And it's not just for them, it's for you. If you want to learn to speak, let go of those worries and fears that other people are judging you. They're not. And even if they were, who cares? Do you, and constantly remind yourself of that, because I promise the amount of emails I get every day from you guys saying, how are you able to speak? I'm so many levels ahead of you and you're speaking here on YouTube in German. I just don't understand why I can't speak. That simply has everything to do with confidence. You have to just peel off that band-aid and do it. Number 3 is don't take the easy route, guys. I know that you know what I'm talking about when I say this, especially if you've already been living in Germany for a little bit. And when I say the easy route, I mean you go to the grocery store and you say, sprechen Sie English? And then they say, yeah, it's okay, we can speak English. Do not do this. Don't put that into your sentence unless it's a dire need to really understand some sort of technical term here in Germany because it's a life or death situation. Don't do that. If you're at the grocery store, just try and speak. I don't care if you're A1, use the words that you know, mix and match them with your English. Don't assume that other people speak English. Sometimes this actually bothers the locals here. I mean, I get it, it would bother me too, when you just assume that they speak a language that isn't even their mother tongue. You're in Germany, just take a deep breath and speak what you can, and do not ask people to speak English. Whether or not it comes off rude, it's not gonna help you in the long run. One thing I will note here is that I get a lot of people saying, but Jenna, especially in Berlin, when you're at a restaurant or something, they'll notice that I'm really bad at German and they'll just switch to English. I always tell them, you sometimes also have to acknowledge that there are Germans who are like, oh great, this person speaks English, I can practice my English too. There's a lot of people like that. Some people just love speaking English as well. If you can, try and stick to German. You can even say, I'm so sorry, but I'm really trying to learn German. Is it okay if I practice my German with you? They're usually quite understanding, unless maybe they can't speak German themselves. That's happened to me a few times in Berlin, actually. Number 4 is gonna sound like a strange one because I'm always complaining about how bad my German grammar is, but I wanna say at the beginning, try not to put too much focus on always having the right grammatical sentences, because if you do put too much focus on that, then you're never gonna be able to speak. For me, I actually notice I go back and forth between taking classes to 6 months not taking classes and then 1 month on and then 3 months off. When I'm learning German, I find that my German is actually worse because I take more time in my head to correct myself and to make sure that the sentence is absolutely correct. Whereas if I've gone a little bit of time without actually learning the language in class, I'm just spitting out sentences left and right, grammatically incorrect sentences, but people understand me. So when it comes to learning the language, speaking the language, and feeling comfortable to speak that language, try not to let these grammar rules get in the way too much. Obviously, you want to be able to speak proper, perfect grammatical German, but that's not always the case. You know, sometimes Germans don't even speak perfect German, and I've personally experienced this as well. And I always apologize to people that my grammar is not so good, but I always say, Hauptsache kann man mich verstehen. Main thing is that you can understand me, and everybody I've ever encountered is 100% totally okay with the fact that my grammar absolutely sucks. Number 5 is do not get stuck in this expat bubble. If you do not know what an expat bubble is, I like to tell people that this expat bubble is when you come here for work, or you've come here for school perhaps, or whatever that might be, but you immediately draw yourself into this expat or this English speaking bubble. Doesn't necessarily have to be English. Maybe it's a Spanish speaking group or a French speaking group, and you draw yourself into this group, you make your tight-knit group of friends, and then you're happy and you're settled, and then you don't push yourself to actually learn the language. If you stay within this bubble, you are not going to learn German very quickly, or very naturally for that matter. Make sure that you are embracing German culture, you are embracing the locals, you are making German friends, you are interacting when you go out, whether that's at a bar or a meeting or an event. Go out and enjoy Germany. Enjoy Germany for all it is. The language, the people, the culture, the art, the food, the drink. Embrace it. This is the best way that you can learn a language, is if you dive straight into the culture and stop hiding behind that expat bubble. I know, again, that these were all kind of hard, cold truth. Maybe you didn't want to hear it. Maybe you needed to hear it. These factors play such an important role in how you learn the language and how quickly you learn the language. So those are definitely hands down my 5 top language learning tips when you're moving to Germany or you're thinking of coming and visiting Germany. If you want some more tips from me, you can check out some of my other videos. If you have any questions for me, you can always leave them down below. Don't forget, if you're moving to Germany, you also have that access to the free downloadable checklist, which I've included down below. And if you want to join the pro plan of Xeropan, I've also included all of those links down below. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank, you guys, und wie immer, bis später.